Super Dope. Welcome into Dragon Ball Super Dope. My name is Kyle. Thank you for checking this out. Sorry that this one is a little bit later than I'd hoped that it would be. It is our our brief podcast wrap up following the watch along that we did of the History of Trunks Dragon Ball Z episode. So that's going to start in just a couple minutes. It's only the podcast after the fact, and the reason is that watch along sound is very fun. It's very good, but trying to splice pieces of it was tough, and it doesn't sound good, and I didn't like it. And yeah, all right. So if you really want to listen to the watch along sound, where some real funny shit happened, including like Rayshawn and Victor dubbing entire scenes as Android 17 and 18, you can go support us on the Patreon. There are links in the show notes. Okay, just real quick, before I let that sound play, the drafts of Chapter 93 for Dragon Ball Super came out, I think yesterday or the day before. And I mean, it's titled Pan's Abduction, so I'm sure that there's more to this chapter that we didn't see in the drafts, but it does look like a huge chunk of the Broly and Goku stuff on whatever Beerus' planet while they're training. It just becomes, 3 or 4 pages worth of flashback to the Broly movie, which I guess I sort of understand in that they haven't really given Broly any kind of time. If you're a manga exclusive reader, which do those manga only readers for Dragon Ball, do those exist? I don't think they do. But I guess for sake of the story, you don't really know anything about Broly. You just got the one splash page when the movie happened, blah, blah, blah. So I guess I understand, but I don't know. We're in the middle of rehashing one movie, and you took a break from rehashing that movie to rehash an even older movie for the majority of a chapter. So, I don't really know what's up with Dragon Ball right now. Like, they are mailing it in hard fucking core. I'll still do a manga review next week, obviously. I'm going to see if I can grab Rayshawn, maybe GB, see if they're around, but it's tough to be excited right now. So anyway, it was fun to do a podcast about the history of Trunks, because it's something I've thought about a lot over the course of my life. And for this one, we got to get drunk and hang out with my friends. This was when Rayshawn was visiting us a few weeks ago. So Rayshawn here in person, plus Victor, plus Mike Norm. I don't know, man. It was truly a party. And whenever I think about parties, I usually have a type of soundtrack going in my head. I hope you enjoy this very special episode of Super Dope. Here you go. Welcome into Dragon Ball Super Dope. My name is Kyle. Thank you for checking this out. This is a super special episode, like probably the most special episode for a few different reasons. I am joined today by Rayshawn Gatson in motherfucking person. Ray, how you doing, man?
I am doing great.
Rayshawn came all the way from Ohio to make us Super Dope.
Very high.
Oh, damn.
No, you're fine. You don't need that.
Ohio.
You're fine. You're great.
I'm great. I'm floating.
Not only is Rayshawn here and in person hanging out for the weekend, I've also got vaping Mike Norm, who no longer vapes. Hello.
Yo, that's me. I'm not vaping. I'm not smoking. I'm just drinking tonight. A little too much.
He's on a bartender arc.
Yeah. Right now
Making
it's
some amazing drinks.
gin and tonics, whiskey sours, last word,
More things.
Negronis.
Third thing. But not only was this the original plan, was to get one of the OG Super Dopes alongside Rayshawn tonight, but also we accidentally inherited a fourth person into this podcast about 3 hours ago. Victor P3O Roman, what is up, my friend?
Super dope. What up, guys?
Excellent to have you here in person, man. I hang out with Victor every once in a while, but like Victor and Rayshawn meeting, Victor coming in and meeting Rayshawn, Mike Norm, and Amber all in one fucking 30-second interval.
It's a good crew. Good crew.
Great crew, but he's like, I know all of you guys.
And can quote everything. It's amazing. It's crazy.
Nobody knows this fucking Super Dope stuff better than Victor. So I wanted, because it's such a special episode, getting everybody together in person, right? I wanted to do one of my favorite pieces of Dragon Ball media ever in existence of Dragon Ball. And what is that thing today? I'll tell you what it is, my boys. It is called The History of Trunks.
Of course.
Dun, 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 dun,
Classic.
so good. So we're going to look at this TV special today. I'll be real with you guys. We've had a full day of just like hanging out. I had to work for a few hours, but like me and Rachel hung out in the morning. We've hung out this afternoon. We've been going out to eat and like just hanging out, having a good time. The plan is to make 1 Super Dope right now, 2 advice pods tomorrow. New advice pods just dropped, by the way.
Word.
If you haven't heard them, every
Check
Friday.
it out.
Check
Check
it
it
out.
out.
Check it out.
I'm mad that you get to.
We're also going to record a couple of those in person tomorrow. But it's been a long ass day. So we just ordered Chinese food. We waited for it for like upwards of 45 minutes. It arrives
Still
just
waiting.
as we were.
Still fucking waiting.
We're still waiting technically. So here's what we're going to do, okay? The History of Trunks. We're going to borrow a play out of Ray Sean's book again. Same thing that I did in the Battle of Gods episode last week, right? Or the week before, depending on how the airing goes. The manga might have came out. We'll see. But top 3 things that we love
Instead of 5.
instead of 5, because we got to pare this shit
Give it a
down.
quick.
We got to eat Chinese. That's the rule. The History of Trunks, just real quickly, I thought it was interesting that it basically takes the place of an episode, but it is basically a double episode. It aired on February 24th, 1993.
Shit.
It aired in between episodes 175 of Dragon Ball Z and 176. 175 is, let's see, those who would challenge Cell. The curtain rises on the battle. So like the start of the Cell games happens. They take a week off and they do this 2-part episode about the history of Trunks. Again, one of the most iconic pieces of Dragon Ball Z media ever. And then the week after that, they give you a fucking joke-ass episode, 176. Just a moment, the Satan Squad goes on the rampage. Like, joke-ass shit after this heavy-ass Trunks episode. So, here's what we'll do. Top 3 moments. That's pretty much it. Ray Sean, you're the guest, man. Welcome to Rhode Island. Happy to have you. What would you say is your number 1, or not even like any particular order, but one of your top 3 things that you loved about this History of Trunks? This was your first time watching, no?
Yep. First time watching it, especially in sub, so that was interesting.
It was.
I'll have to say my first like would have to be one of the beginning scenes where you have all the Z fighters kind of lined up at Goku house and they kind of like watching him die, and you see like all the hope get drained from everybody's face because they're like, damn, the savior is gone.
It's such a quick scene too. That's definitely one of my picks. Is like everybody watching Goku die, and the moment where everyone feels his life force leave, and they all look at each other like,
Yeah.
And even Vegeta has that Kakaroto. Like, if you want to hear the live reaction to us, like I guess a commentary to it, patreon.com/Dragon Ball Super Dope. There's a link in the show notes. But we just let the sound roll while we watched this earlier, and that was one of the things that definitely caught all of us. Just like, what a nice, quick little moment.
Yeah.
Impactful to just kind of set the tone. You
The
know?
thing is,
We did some karaoke, dog.
real Dragon Ball fans, like we know. I mean, everybody says, "Oh yeah, they don't have no consequences and whatever." But when somebody
Push 'em
dies,
back.
we feel that shit. You know what I mean? We feel. We feel that. We feel it. Like Krillin, they're gonna wish him with the Dragon Balls. Yeah, but you know, we don't know that. It hasn't been written, so we don't know what's going to happen. We have said, "Oh, this is gonna happen," and all of a sudden, that does not happen. If you listen to Super Dope, we all said, you know,
Super Dope.
You know,
Yo, in this
we all gonna
series,
say, "Oh, this is gonna happen," and this obviously does not
In
happen.
this
We all thought
recap-
Cooler was gonna happen.
in this recap in particular, though, like Goku dies first from his heart disease or whatever. The next person to die, Piccolo.
2 words. 2 words.
no Dragon
Piccolo
Balls.
dies.
Piccolo died.
Cut.
No
The
Dragon
end.
Balls.
Next.
Mao.
Next.
Right.
Fucking one shot.
We're going in a circle, I think. Mike Norm, what's your pick? What's
Top pick. That
doesn't
have to be
top, but one of your favorite 3 things.
middle-aged Mama Bulma. Mommy Bulma.
Great fucking pick, my friend.
Got the big hair. Real 91 style hair. Looking fine.
So 93 for this one, but like still pretty 91 to 93 time accurate for sure.
late
Got the
80s.
nice MILF vibes going on.
Oh yeah, yep.
100%.
Yep.
Cougar mama.
Rocking it.
Early on in the episode, she does look very.
Older. She looked
She
more
looks tired.
Haggard.
Tired.
more
Yeah.
stressed.
Yeah, she
Say
doesn't look
haggard.
old.
That
It's
first
not
shot
even-
of her was rough, but the rest of the episode, she's bringing it.
It's like
She
imagine
she
GT.
making the
It's
time
just
machine.
imagine
She back in
GT.
her zone. That's what
Right,
it was.
yep,
When
yep.
she didn't have no hope, that's when she was
Yeah,
like,
that's what it is. She
scratching.
didn't have no
she
hope,
found
and it's
that hope.
crazy. It's called a new hope.
Found it.
That's what it is. Well, something like that.
At the end of the episode is capped off by a song called "The Blue Wind of Hope,"
Oh right. So the
and then
whole
she writes hope on the side of that.
yeah, that was the whole
Sign.
genre of the thing was just like.
So she looks mad old when she's first driving through the thing, and they hear the stuff on the radio. She looks mad. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
damn, Boma, you feel like you look like you've been feeling stressed.
Looks like shit.
But later in the episode, she looks like 10
Look like
years
she been
younger
fighting.
automatically just because like maybe she took a shower.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, word. But also, this is the version of Bulma that Team 4 Star is famous for making that joke about. The whole like, hey, Gohan, you staying for dinner? You want to stay the night? And like
yeah.
implying that
You
maybe
feel that.
Gohan in the future was dicking down Bulma, or maybe Bulma wanted that. And I would have
mean-
understood that.
Oh, that's where she got the youth back.
yeah.
That D. That
How do you
Gohan
keep
D makes her
staying
feel
so young?
young
Oh,
again.
I just keep fucking saying different
Right.
Yep,
generations
taking-
of saying.
Was it that rule that whatever rule number 20 whatever
34.
whatever it is?
Do you think that the Rule 34 is?
It applies to everybody. And wherever you put, whatever
100%.
you put,
That fucking-
if you put
But
something out
it
good,
it 1
something
million
bad,
percent applies to
somebody's
Bulma.
gonna be like, oh yeah, but this and that is gonna look like this. It's gonna...
All right, Victor, you're up.
Moving on.
What,
So
what do you
my
got?
first thing, my first pick is gonna be when
What
I
are you
first
laughing
open
at?
up.
Rayshon's laughing his ass off. Victor, what do you
It's
got?
true, yes or no, bro. They're gonna be acting like that. All right. My first pick, probably be so when the opening scene shows up and all the freaking the waves come up, and then the opening scene you got the Gohan rushing and stuff like that, and
There you go.
when Gohan starts rushing and the art was like amazing. The minute it started showing, I was like, oh yeah, it's a Dragon Ball movie, and then all of a sudden you see Gohan running and the art. From then on I couldn't take my focus on the art. Sorry. The art is like amazing. Like it's straight up nostalgia. Like the art was like what I had on my fucking on my binder or my Trapper Keeper, whatever you guys want to call it.
You're right.
When I was in middle school or high
primetime
or
Dragon Ball
elementary
Z art.
school. The primetime art. When I was in school, everything was about doing pictures. If your mom worked in an office, you got to print pictures and show them off.
She got that
You know
inkjet
what I
shit.
mean?
Yeah.
It was the art. So the
Feel
first
it.
thing I want to say is the art was awesome.
You just dig the overall anime
the
style.
art,
of it.
man,
Okay.
yeah, the anime. It wasn't even the. The fighting thing is a little bit different conversation, but the art in general, the lines. I don't want to say it was like Shintani. I mean, I'm not a fan of Shintani or whatever. But
Shut
that
the
art,
fuck up, Victor.
That art was
Stay in your lane.
That art was. I mean, I like it. Ricky Real is gonna recognize Real, but it's not my favorite. But the art here was A1.
People can have
original,
opinions.
Official tissue.
No.
That's it.
Real
Shit.
recognize real when you see one. Rayshon
art
calls me a
was-
piece of shit like 6 times a day.
amazing.
All right. So my first
Why does
favorite
my word-
thing,
Granted,
right?
granted.
It takes a minute for Gohan to actually show up in this special, and like you see Trunks reacting to the world, and it's meant to build tension. It's like, oh man, Trunks is the only one left. No, there's still Gohan, which is sick. But when Gohan first shows up, the overall idea is like to kind of replicate like the trainings the training beats that he had with Piccolo when he was a kid, and like taking him in less than ideal circumstances. Victor's lighting a blunt
Where
or
the
a
fuck
joint.
did you get this blunt? I'm just
I'm not even
like,
sure.
this dude is
But
just making
you
blunt
take him
appear
in
like
less
Harry
than
Potter.
ideal circumstances to be able to train.
I'm Little Wayne, bro.
It's good. You got to train the kid up, right? And that's very much what Gohan and Trunks are doing throughout the course of this. But what Gohan continues to bring up to Trunks a few different times. One time he just kind of says it to himself. He's like, that's definitely...
That's his father's
the-
son.
Yeah, that's definitely the son of Vegeta. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
And then there's that moment on the beach where Trunks asks him about Vegeta and like, what was he like? I never got to meet him, blah, 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 blah. Just like as much as Gohan brings up Vegeta as like a way to help motivate Trunks a little bit is one of my favorite things. Because that's like really the only callback that you have to like the
the old timeline. You know, it's like the only connection back to the character is like Gohan's the Grand Elder now. He's the one who has the connections back to all those old fighters and shit. He's the one who's going to talk about them. And I just love that he uses Vegeta as like a main line to, you know, continue to motivate Trunks.
He's very Goku-esque, like when it comes to that. Like, oh yeah,
Gohan-
your dad was this.
Gohan
Oh,
in
your
this
dad was
special
that. And
is
his
Goku,
smile.
but without the 7 points on
Right,
the outside
his
of his
smile was
Same
like
bangs and everything.
like that time chamber versus when he was
Mm-hmm.
with Gohan in the time chamber in the Cell Saga. That same smile, that confidence that he was like afraid to like train him or push him too far or whatever.
Yeah.
It was the same thing how Gohan was doing with Trunks. That's swear.
You got next, Ray. What's your number 2?
My number 2 will have to be the destruction of the cities. And I thought what was also kind of interesting, because they kept doing like 3-year time skips. And I'm like, did they just not do anything during those 3 years? Are they like chilling and then they come out? Or like, I don't know what that was, but the destruction of the cities and shit,
A good villain.
they was not playing around.
Yeah.
After a while, no, you couldn't even see any other humans, I think, towards the end.
A good villain.
You see like little cities in like isolation. They're like, we still have the defense of the military. We're fine. And just living in that fucking completely different realm of reality, right?
I don't understand
But like,
that.
here's the thing. There's a certain point where 17 and 18 are like, let's go home. And I thought to myself for a second, like, you guys live somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just like out there infinitely doing this shit. Like you go home and rest, I guess.
Got a nice little
Where-
mansion on the side.
Where's your home? That's my first question. Second question is, how do you decide which cities to go attack on any given day? Because you're just like popping up random places in the world, fucking things up.
You know, we gonna go left today.
It is pretty epic though, watching them fuck up complete cities like that.
And there was another thing where they like in the anime.
We were
I don't
programmed
know
for
if it was
world
sub or
destruction.
dub, but I don't know if it was sub or dub. But they was like when they were destroying stuff, and was it 18 went into the shopping spot, and she went to go buy an outfit, and that same thing happens in the anime, and basically she says, "Oh, I won't blow up your, the shopping mall
Because I
but-
want to keep the place to get
yeah,
closed.
whatever. Yeah, and then but in the movie, is like the same scenario happens, and I thought it was gonna be the same thing, and I even quoted it. I was like, "Oh, you're gonna make me a liar," but that doesn't happen. She doesn't say, "Oh, I won't do it," and then 17 explodes it, and then she was like, "You're gonna make me a liar." So it doesn't
Explodes it.
happen.
Oh, okay.
Mike Norm, what do you think? Name your number 2 thing?
So the vibe, I got real Neon Genesis vibes, like the post-apocalyptic setting and all the destroyed cities and everything. I just looked it up. Neon Genesis was 95, so I could see that
This
show.
may be influencing that a little bit.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
can see that going on.
They have like the Doom organ kind of music and shit. Like when that kicked on, you're like,
Dun, dun, dun.
this is Neon Genesis Evangelion. Yeah.
And when the fuck did Terminator come out? You know, like
Well,
all
that's the
Terminator
thing,
vibes,
dude.
too.
Like, so this isn't a Toriyama story. This is a Toei animation story, right?
Okay.
But so much, like, this came out a full 2 years, I think, after Trunks debuted in the manga. And Trunks in the manga is already very obviously a motherfucking ripoff of the Terminator story. So they fully lean into this in certain action points or action scenes, at certain points in action scenes in this story. Words are hard. You see like that kind of terror in Trunks' face, and like the way in which they're like using mirrors to like look around the corner and shit, and like the red lighting and the shadows casting over people's face. Like there's so many good visuals in this special that just stuck with me for such a long time, since the first time I saw it when I was probably like maybe 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there. Victor, what is your number 2, my friend?
My number 2 is gonna have to be the music. The
Okay,
music.
the Shunsuke Kikuchi music.
So I mean, I'm not a person to be quote unquote like I read a lot of comics, and when I listen to podcasts, they give a lot of credit to like the artist and the illustrator and the words and the this and the that, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. When it comes to Kyle, he's very interested in the music.
I have a
He's-
musician's ear.
He's gonna say, Kokoshi or this and that and all these other names that Kokuchi, yeah, whatever. I'm sorry, whatever. But I mean, no disrespect, but I'm very bad with names.
I feel you.
as it
I
is.
understand.
So I know every music from nostalgia. Growing up with my best friend, we're all in our fucking, in our Raggedy's, you know, in the middle of the night with Mad Candy and you know the music, and we're all like dun dun dun, or like the music will reenact everything, and we'll just like having the background music. You know what I mean? It's just the music and the thing. It just takes me back. It's like all the music and all the sounds and the audio for it. Like even though I didn't watch it in sub, it was still the same audio. Like I mean, maybe not, you know, the same lyrics maybe, but it was the same instrumental basically.
Well, as long as you're not watching it with the fucking Falconer music. I mean, that's a
I mean,
very different
Most
people talk
classical
about that. People
Dragon
talk about.
Ball
I've
music?
never had that ocean dub. I don't know what ocean dub means. I don't
That's
know
okay.
what
You don't
Bruce
need to-
Falcon
you don't-
means.
you don't know
Ocean
what
dub
Fal-
is the
What'd you call
best
him,
dub.
Bruce what?
Whatever, Falcon Punch, whatever the fuck. I don't give a fuck
Bruce
what his name
Falcon
is.
Punch,
If he's
whatever,
great,
fuck,
he's
yeah,
great.
yeah,
If I fuck with him, he fucks. You know what I
Nah,
mean?
but like some people are real into the Bruce Falconer score
What
because
the
that.
dragon, rock the dragon.
Well,
Was
that era,
I remember that.
era. He didn't do that, but the background music of that era of Dragon Ball, him and his team did that. Not just
And
it
they
wasn't
was-
just him.
I mean, I grew up with it
They
when it
was
first hit the States. When I was in
copyrighting
fourth
everything,
grade,
People
third
are mad
grade,
nostalgic for that.
when I was in third grade, my uncle
worked for
got it.
Nintendo.
He was like 7 years older than me, so he's probably like you are. But I think what are you? You're like 2 years older than me. But anyways, you're older.
I was
you're-
like, careful,
you're
boy. How old
older,
am I?
Your older, you know, predecessor, whatever, assessor
I
is
thought I
gonna
was
be
about to get a.
whatever. I mean, I just feel like, you know.
All right,
The-
my
the music.
number two.
We don't care.
You didn't even know what you never do. Okay.
No, I do know what my number two is.
yeah.
It's generally speaking the battles.
Battles.
So, two pieces of the battle specifically. The first one is like where Gohan like straight up has to defend. He continues to do the Piccolo stuff for Trunks, right, and defends Trunks in that battle, and it ultimately costs him his arm. But the battle that I always think of when I think of this special, you know, obviously you think of the Gohan death dub, but it's the scene where Trunks gets brave enough to try to fight the androids, and he fights Android 18 on that Ferris wheel. I think of that Ferris wheel scene all of the fucking time, man.
When they was jumping up there.
When they jump
Yeah.
up and they're on the, and like Trunks is trying his best, and 18 just has this little smirk on her face. She's like,
Little Mufasa scene.
she's just like, I'm playing
Scar
I'm
Mufasa.
playing with a baby right now. Like, this is me just playing around, and she's just having a good time. She's blocking and dodging all this stuff.
Weaving.
And then he finally lands a hit, and she's like, "What? Ouch! What the fuck? That's not what I expected. You
Grabs
fucking
him.
little brat!" And
Piece
just
of shit.
fucks him up.
Yeah.
I love that moment, dude, because it's like so like it speaks to what ultimately becomes their downfall, right? Like they
Yeah.
get so fucking cocky about their
Arrogant.
shit that they never imagine anyone's ever going to be able to catch up to them. So when the second that somebody shows a little bit of capability of being able to like inflict damage on them, she's like, "You fucking, I'll kill you." I love that shit.
Perfect example.
But also like that last battle with Gohan, like the Gohan battle at the end, you know. The fuck you laughing at?
Guys, you said the next one is the third, right?
It's the third.
Three comes after two. Yeah.
Can't wait to listen back to this sound. Rayshawn, you're up, man. What's your third and final favorite thing? Yo, this is like a breakneck shit, dude. We're at 22 and a half minutes or so. Maybe we caught a few minutes at the beginning. I don't know. We're around like 22 minutes.
we can do.
Fucking hungry, man.
We can do what?
Number 3
We're
would
gonna eat
have
Chinese
to be
Yeah.
the end credits. The end credits scene where you get to see what Trunks is doing afterwards when he goes into the future and he kills
Hell yeah.
Frieza and everything. I like that scene. Even though Frieza is my favorite character and he should have been able to kill Trunks. But
You got sliced and diced.
I do like that scene. I like that scene. The song was Blue Hope or Magic
Wind of
or-
Hope, yeah.
Oh,
Blue Wind of Hope, classic. I guess I got to rip it now, so let me fucking drop it. The ending credits is really good because the whole time I said it to you guys while we were watching it, right? If you want to hear the commentary, go get the Patreon shit. But I said it when we were watching it. It's like
$5.99.
it's just $5. But
99.
it's not really a
Rayshawn
story.
gets a 99.
It's not really a story. It's just like shit that we already knew kind of happened, but we get to watch it all play out. It's not like beginning, middle, and end kind of story. It's like this is just it's the same kind of deal they did at the first 15, 20 minutes of the Broly movie. It's not real story. It's not real part of the story. It's a piece of the history, I guess.
Good.
But like, it's just a big info dump of shit that we
Like a
kind of already
flashback.
know, but like more fleshed out. We already know how this shit's basically gonna end, but like they make it a little bit more interesting by giving us future Gohan, having him lose the arm. Trunks going out to try to fight them at the end before he hops in the time machine makes little to fucking no sense
Yeah,
at all.
unnecessary.
It happens, whatever. But
He had to see where he stood.
But it was a good battle. No,
it was very fun. But we get through the end, and what is the only logical way to do it? I'm trying to think of what the fuck might be causing this.
Am I hitting my cord again?
It's
My
you.
bad. I was
Got
holding it.
We want a New York Manhattan.
Oh, yeah,
All right,
well,
bartender.
I can do
Mike.
that. I can do that.
Perfect. We'll do a quick
Old-fashioned?
little.
09.
So for the listeners who aren't aware,
50 Cent.
Mike Norm is very busy. He's got a job, several side hobbies, but one of the main arcs of his life right now is
Make it a double because it's my last.
it's a bartender. He's a bartender
Yeah,
arc.
like-
You know what I
Hit
mean?
him on his
Them
ass. Get pitted.
Perfect. But yeah, no, the way they wrap up the special by like not having a story but going on to remind you why it was cool to see this shit and showing him fuck up Frieza and then fight Goku with the one finger sword shit, like
Right?
so cool to wrap it up that way.
Yeah.
Mike is doing a thing. Victor, what's your third thing?
My third thing is probably going to be, so I'm a video game type of person when it comes Kentucky Dragon Ball fan.
You mean you like the
I like fighting. I'm a person. I'm a Puerto Rican. I mean, I grew up in the hood, so I mean,
A Puerto Rican is not quite a Kentucky Dragon Ball fan, my friend.
But, I mean, I'm from Providence.
What?
It's
Basically
literally
same
the
area.
capital of Rhode Island, the smallest state. The smallest state of the, what is it? The smallest state of the country,
You got it, baby.
which is the capital
Yeah,
of that.
Y'all ain't even a state.
State.
Y'all like territory.
Right. So
Not even to be like
me,
that.
like that rage when you push against the wall and you have nothing to lose and you just like, whatever. You know, I'm that type of person for the video games and the fighting and whatever. But when it came to my third favorite in this thing was, since I'm a video game type of person, was like all the outfits, all the like different types of things that we don't get to see, like Oolong. He had the legit, like the way he had his, you know, the way he appeared. Master Roshi, his outfit
orange
wasn't
shirt,
normal.
yeah. It's funny
it
that-
wasn't normal.
yeah.
Like Bulma's outfits wasn't normal. She had the bright.
They change their clothes every day.
And
How weird.
So like, and then like, when 17's
timeline.
got blown up with that little,
New
he got hit.
timeline.
No, he didn't get. He got hit with the building from Gohan when Gohan, and that's another thing. The way Gohan looked, he looked really young, and the way like I remember the way he looked, and the way we look at stuff online.
Oh, I know what you're
the
talking
way
about.
we
He looked
look
kinda older.
online as future Gohan is not the same as we see in the movie. He's very little kiddish. If you have kids and you like influence that shit on your kids, you see the difference.
It's kind of appropriate that we're doing this one right now, actually.
Yeah.
Because you know why, dude? I guess they just reunited Future Gohan and Xeno Trunks, which is the Trunks of this timeline that we just watched today.
Word, yeah.
It has reunited him in Super Dragon Ball Heroes for the first time in like 30 years.
That's funny.
1993 to 2000, yeah, 30 years. They just reunited them. We should watch that shit, dude. That would be a good one to watch together.
Right. So like, I mean, it was most of overall like different types of seeing the characters in different clothing and stuff like that. I always like seeing like
Different
nobody
character designs.
remembers Goku in a space outfit.
I do.
You're right. A
There's
lot
a
of people
figure of it. It's a
overlook
movie
that
figure.
because they're always into the fighting and stuff like that. Yeah, I love the fighting. It's probably my favorite part of it.
You know
Because
who
I'm a
thinks
video
about,
game
you know who
actor,
thinks
you know
about
what I mean?
people in different costumes and shit?
I bust anybody in
People
some
like me
universe and
who
some fucking
collects
thing and
different
and-
fucking action figures and shit.
Hell of them.
That's why they put
Action
them in
figures
different.
too, man.
that's why they put them in different
like my
outfits.
boys, we have like literally, you know, those literally the bins full
Same.
of toys.
Yeah, same.
And they were all fucked up, missing a leg,
Bad.
this and that, whatever.
Oh,
whatever.
mine are mostly
but we'll
together.
like fucking start
Got
fucking
bins,
each
dude.
other up with the little
Boxes.
toys. Like the
Most
battle,
of them Dragon Ball,
yeah,
truthfully.
$20 right now.
Dragon Ball and
what
X-Men
you get for
primarily.
$20, those little battle, whatever.
All right.
But it was the clothing, yeah.
Mike, what do you think for your number 3 thing?
I'm a girl 18. She can step on my face any day.
That one scene with her ass shot.
Yeah, we all peeped it. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not that type of person.
on there?
I'm
guess I missed
offended
it.
when people be like, "Yo, look at her," when there's like
missed it.
7 dudes looking at her ass. I was looking at her ass too. I ain't gonna lie.
I think Kyle was thinking about how he was gonna get the Krillin tattoo during that scene.
Yeah, Kyle's gonna get the Krillin tattoo, the
Yeah.
6 dots on his forehead.
She was
It's the
very
only
cool.
way to
We're
do
gonna
it.
get him ripped tonight.
I gotta let people know that I love Dragon Ball by putting the 6 dots on my fucking forehead.
That'd be so funny if people
the
go
Bic.
thinking like, "Where's
18
that
is
from?"
you know what I like about this version of 18 in this story is that she's definitely the more gentle and less sadistic one of the two, right? And you can kind of see like how in a different timeline she can become a reformed, like good-ish kind of person. And you see pieces of that in this episode, even though at this point in the series when they were airing it and the manga, although I'm not sure where the manga was at in 93, either it might have been Into the Bullshit. Either way, man, just hinting that like she's not a complete piece of shit. Like I really like that about 18.
Really?
Even though she continues to murder people
I
and
feel
stuff.
like she was worse in this one. than
No,
she was
I mean
in the actual
she
show.
is, but there's
the
moments where
manga.
it's like, what the hell, dude? Like you said in
was
the thing
nicer
about the
than
clothes,
some.
like
She didn't have that in this show, in the movie.
that's fine though, but she has other moments similar to that.
Oh.
where it's like she's like
when
A little bit
a little bit
nicer
more
than 17.
forgiving.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
17's like, no, actually, we kill people. Watch, boom.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what. That's probably the only dislike I had because she wasn't as forgiving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My
Kinda
only
do.
dislike about the movie was probably, she wasn't.
Are we
as
doing our
forgiving.
one dislike?
Are we doing?
I'm gonna
that?
do number 3 right now.
Oh my bad.
Okay, go
for me,
ahead.
and then we can do a dislike if you guys got it. So my number 3 is actually like conspiracy theory time, right?
Yeah.
It's not nothing specific to this special, except that Gohan dies, and then the narrator chimes in, and he's like, 3 years pass, and then you see Trunks in his fucking jacket. There's like a reading that the androids are attacking somewhere, and he straps on his fucking sword.
How come?
Oh,
and he
yeah.
goes off to the battle.
Right?
And
No
I
explanation.
Thought, and I thought to myself, I was like, that's Tapion's sword right there.
Right.
Oh man, what might have happened? Because like Harudegarn movie happens, Trunks is around 8 years old. If that's the case, the shit with Gohan dying happens when Trunks is around like 14 years old. So Harudegarn, for whatever reason, in the movie he's released by Hoy is his name, who like unlocks the music box, right? Because he doesn't have the power of the Dragon Balls, because Piccolo died or whatever.
True. It probably took him
He
longer.
somehow it takes him 10 years. He figures out to unlock the music box. He unlocks Tapion. All right. This is all during the 3-year gap. This is my brain theory right now. Unlocks Tapion, and Tapion's like, oh no, I got half a monster living in me. This sucks. And Trunks is like, yeah, it does suck. We actually already have a lot of shit going on in this world. You're kind of fucking with us. But I like you, man. And he's like, I like you too, Trunks. You're like a brother to me. I want you to kill me. Just like he says in the fucking Harudegarn movie.
You know what?
Take my sword and stab me through the goddamn chest. And in this timeline, Trunks says, you're right. And he stabs him through the fucking chest.
Right?
And then he wears that fucking sword as a trophy and a sad rememance of his friend Tapion.
What's
hear
that
you.
word? What's that word when you
Headcanon?
No, when the creator says, "Oh, like say for instance, two
The narrator?
when the creator has two different storylines, and it didn't connect, but they made it connect anyways."
I don't know.
It's
A
like
retcon?
a retcon. Yeah, retcon.
Retcon.
All right. So what if they was to make that a retcon to? You know,
I just did it. You're welcome, Toei.
I know. I'm just saying. I think
We all have one dislike. I don't think I thought
I don't
about
have
a
a
dislike.
dislike.
the dislike was probably the fact that she wasn't as cool. She wasn't as forgiving.
Well, that's our dislike.
18? You mean 18 wasn't as
And the fact
And?
and Mike saw it too. I ain't gonna lie, Mike saw it too.
The booty shop?
No, the fact. I mean, we all saw it. The fact that remember how they were doing Gohan in the beginning, in the fight,
Making him
and
like
all
a
of a
pussy.
sudden it made it look like he had no arm. So
Oh, yeah. There were a couple
Oh,
shots
Oh, okay.
where it
now,
seems like he didn't
I
have an
am
arm.
not the type of person to be like
Foreshadowing.
Oh, they don't do this because the anime doesn't look like that.
I love your upset Puerto Rican voice.
I mean, no, I'm just saying, like, stop. I'm just saying, like they'd be like, oh, you don't have to. Oh, the look at the anime shot.
Tia,
They
look
fucked
at
up.
it.
They reuse it. They rehash it. Rehash it. What do you mean? The best part of growing up when you first day was in elementary school or middle school, just going into middle school, and Frieza reruns was on. right? Or if not,
was the worst.
Saiyan was on. If not, the Cell Saga was on. And by then, when you actually comprehended it, you got to the fact that LimeWire was on. Right? Mm-hmm. We all
Are you just giving us your own personal history of
just
Dragon Ball
saying.
right now, Victor?
we all knew it for what it was.
So much
and then a
passion.
lot of the fact that it's
Way more passionate than I would have anticipated.
I'm just saying that the new age, when we
It's
go,
so easy for them.
when they go put on a comment, it's like, oh, what about this? Oh, what about that? Whoa, what about this? Oh, what about that? It's not like
I'm about to
bro,
isolate
it's
that
Dragon
sound.
Ball Z, bro. Like this is dope. Like just leave it.
It's not that
It is what it
deep.
is, man.
It's not
Not that
leave
deep.
It. It's
Not
it's-
that
Not that deep.
It's not, it's
All
dope.
right, so Rayshawn doesn't have a fucking nitpick. You said something about 18 not being very nice, I guess. Mike, do you have a nitpick?
Nah, man, it's peak. It's peak right there.
Yeah.
It is peak Dragon Ball Z nostalgia as
You're right.
well. I think my only nitpick with this is one, like I said early on,
My
it's
son
not really a
loves this
nitpick.
movie.
It's just more of an
My son
observation.
loves the movie. He hates Dragon Ball Z.
It's
though.
not
He
really-
doesn't like how vulgar it is.
Your son-
He loves Super. He loves Super. He watched Super twice. He's 7 years old. So
my nitpick is
he's too vulgar.
I guess mostly that, like I said before, it's not really so much a story. It's just like shit that we already kind of knew happened, but it's still fully fleshed out into 44 minutes, which is very
Right.
cool to see. But also the idea that Trunks gets his sword somewhere in that 3-year time span. They don't even try to give me one goddamn hit, and I have to make shit up like that after fucking 20 goddamn however long of watching Dragon Ball years. I gotta make shit up like that to be able to like give myself a dopamine fix and be like, you figured it out, Kyle. That's
Did a
how it
whole
works.
special just
You
about
don't
the
like the
sword.
fact that you have to do all the work yourself to imagine everything?
Yeah, I
That's the
hate
best
that.
part of Dragon Ball Z. I mean,
It is
I'm
and
like,
it isn't.
well, imagine this, imagine that.
It is and it isn't. I'm tired, man.
It's like Star
I'm
Wars.
tired.
They gotta fucking
Wait,
explain everything
but
nowadays. Some
I
things
ain't gonna
don't
lie.
need an explanation,
But
man.
I always hated
well.
fan-made stuff. I always be like, shut the fuck up, dude.
did you-
Shut the fuck
Wait a minute.
up.
Did you dislike Dragon Ball Legacy?
Dude, I've seen things
Wait,
that,
shh, be
like
careful.
Super Saiyan 10.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Like,
LimeWire. I saw Super Saiyan 10, dude.
listen, Dragon Ball Super Hero, whatever. That shit is half awesome. The fact that you can do the stuff that you do in video games is in an anime. That's the only good part about superhero.
I don't know what the fuck you just said, little kid, but you know
just
what?
saying.
You special, man.
Little kid, I'm only like 2 years younger.
I was saying a chainsaw.
I'm
I'm just saying, in a little kid form, like that's what you do. If you don't look at this show or movies in a little kid form, you're dumb.
So that's how Victor's
I'm just
wrapping.
saying.
That's how Victor's
Yeah, right?
wrapping it up.
We're here to look at it
Rayshawn.
because it's the best anime in the world.
You goddamn right, Rayshawn. I was just trying to get us to wrap it up so we can eat Chinese food. How do you feel wrapping up this episode, my friend?
I think this was a fun episode. I think this was a fun episode, getting to hear out everybody's opinions in the flesh.
Yeah.
Hear how passionate you are, Victor. That is amazing.
You got a lot to say.
It was pretty good. This is the first time I've ever even seen the special. I'm probably gonna try to go find it in dub because he told me.
Oh,
to
dude,
dub it.
the live action.
I'ma
The
try
live
to find
action
it
is
up.
pretty dope. When you watch
might
the live
watch-
action, make sure. I will emphasize on that. Make sure it's in 1080p. When you first watch it, it will automatically show up at 720p. You're gonna be like, no, it's all right,
like
and it's
VHS.
slow and this thing. But the first half of it is very slow. The other half is very good graphics of Trunks versus Cell. After the fact, when he comes back in time of what happened in the Cell Saga.
Know what I said? Super dope.
So it's before the Cell Saga
Super
and
dope.
after the Cell Saga. It's like a little 30-minute clip, 25-minute clip of before the Cell Saga and after the Cell Saga.
Victor's on a
Okay.
roll. Mike, wrapping it up, my friend. What do you got?
Yo, how's that drink, man?
Okay. Right?
Oh, did he cut into your wrap up time? Go ahead, Ray.
I was just gonna say, oh yeah, you guys can find me on the Rayshawn Gatson Anime Podcast.
Rayshawn Gats an anime podcast. Rayshawn Gats an
Boom.
anime podcast. All got.
Very big fan, actually. Very big
Victor
fan.
listens.
I swear to God.
Mike.
You can hit up my OnlyFans at Stormin Norman 420.
I'm sorry.
A lot of great content, man.
Do it again. Because I might,
That's
I might
as good
follow
as it gets.
this
As
up.
good as it gets, man.
Stormy Norman 420 at gmail.com.
I bring the storm
You see,
to your dorm.
Yep.
what is it? 3 girls in 1 cup.
3 girls.
3 girls.
I don't know what is it. I
Oh
don't
shit!
know.
The
What are you talking
sequel.
about?
the
2 girls in
sequel.
1
It's a
cup.
family
3
of 7.
girls.
Oh no! All right, my wrap up
He makes
is
that looks.
thank you for
PG.
listening. If you want to hear some more of the audio commentary, maybe I cut some in throughout this. Maybe I did a thing at the front. I'm not sure.
Good luck
Thank you for
editing this.
yeah, but thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Make sure you rate and subscribe to Dragon Ball Super Dope wherever you get your podcast, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube. If you're on YouTube, please just like the video. I guess maybe leave a comment. Let us know what you thought. Maybe you had feelings about this Future Trunks.
Or just
episode.
like the video.
Patreon is the best stuff, though. Go to the Patreon. It's literally that secret, that little secret stuff that you don't get to hear. That stuff that you're like, ha, gotcha, motherfucker.
Listen, dude. Listen. Not only are all my most embarrassing moments there, but also just like a lot
It's
of
the best, bro.
unedited raw
It's
shit.
literally like
fucking
watching.
Man,
10 people.
Whose line is it, anyways? It's like literally watching that.
It's
like
my 10
literally
closest
watching
fucking
that.
friends.
It's probably
My
crazy
10
as
closest
hell.
bros who are like hearing that shit, and that's fine because they like me, I guess, enough to give me $5 a month.
Yeah.
Thank you to the patrons. We love you.
Satisfaction. Dun 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 dun. Dragon Ball Super Dope. Let's fly high.
So what the fuck?
Dragon Ball Super Dope.
I think I give up.
Find me on the show.
Bye-bye.
Patreon.
Bye-bye.
I am gonna win.
Great. Very good. Goodbye.
There you go.
It's like, oh, what about this? Oh, what about that? Whoa, what about this? Oh, what about that? It's not like, it's not like.